Here at Shreveport. I would like to take this moment to extend a special thank you to Shreveport, our SUSLA, that's Dr. Ellis and his entire staff for the hospitality that you have afforded us on last evening and today. It has been such a pleasure, but it is always very pleasurable to come to Shreveport. Thanks again for your warm welcome. Now we will have the invocation, and I think today, usually you are accustomed to Reverend Henry introducing our pastor of the day, but today he's going to yield that to Reverend Gant, because Reverend Gant had a reach out for our pastor of the day. So at this time I will allow Reverend Gant to introduce our pastor of today.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I just want to announce I'm back. Thanks for the warning. It's my pleasure to introduce our pastor today. He's been a very good friend of mine. Received his bachelor's degree from Louisiana State University, Shreveport. He has a Master of Science in Administration from Central Michigan University. And he has a Juris Doctorate from Miles Law School, and he is pastor of the Living Word Christian Fellowship Church here in Shreveport. He's my friend and brother. We received Pastor Timothy R. Thomas.
Let us pray. Eternal God, our Father, we thank you and we bless you for this opportunity for the Southern University Board of Supervisors meeting. We pray that the agenda that you have set before them will be accomplished to your glory. We ask, God, for your continual support of the Southern University system and the students that attend these schools. We pray, eternal God, now that everything will be done in decent and in order. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Amen.
Just remain there, Pastor.
Pastor Thomas, on behalf of our Southern University College System, Board of Supervisors, System President, and Administrators, we want to present to you right now a certificate of appreciation in honor of the service, dedication, and above and beyond service at Southern University. We do hereby give you special recognition to the pastor, Timothy R. Thomas, Living Word Christian Fellowship Ministry, on this 24th day of August. Thank you very, very much.
Again, on behalf of the board, we would like to thank you for coming and sharing this time with us, Pastor. And now we are ready to begin our first committee of the day, and that is for Dr. Herman Gaines and the Academic Affairs Committee. Dr. Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. Dr. Felton, roll call, please.
Yes. Dr. Gaines?
Here.
Mr. Solomon? Here. Attorney Clayton?
Here.
Dr. Davis?
Here.
Ms. Jeffers?
Present.
Reverend Jack?
Here.
Dr. Tarver?
Here.
Mrs. Smith?
Present.
Dr. Cornstead?
Thank you. The next item is the adoption of the agenda, but I have one item to add to the agenda.
sometimes foolish lawyer, and not knowing any better, I set my aspirations and goals to be like Tony Clayton. And little did I know that during the course of my career, I would engage legal giants. Today, it is with great pleasure that I would like to serve District Attorney Stewart with a special recognition on behalf of the Southern University Board of Supervisors. Although D.A. Stewart is the district attorney, I believe the highest honor in our profession is to have earned the title of judge. I believe, I feel certain that everyone still calls D.A. Stewart Judge Stewart, because after graduating from C. Bird High School, he moved to New Orleans, Louisiana, and attended the University of New Orleans, matriculated from there to the Loyola University School of Law, and then came back home, got a job, came back home to a very politically and racially turbulent times here in the city of Shreveport, and became employed as an assistant district attorney, then moved on up the ranks to become the first assistant district attorney, then a district court judge, and then an appellate court judge. After many years of service, he was asked by community leaders to come and take the helm of the district attorney's office. And he did so by making history in the city of Shreveport. At this time, Judge Stewart, I'd like to present to you special recognition on behalf of our chair, our vice chair, and this entire Southern University system. And I'm just going to read the final resolution. Now therefore be it resolved that the members of the Board of Supervisors, under the leadership of Chair Lady Ann Smith, and the Southern University system hereby recognizes and extends our sincere best wishes to District Attorney Judge James E. Stewart for his commitment to professional excellence among practicing attorneys. Thank you very much.
Dr. Shaw, while they take that picture, can you tell us who his brother is?
Maybe you should tell us who's been there.
You from
Oh, tell us.
Shreveport?
Well,
Y'all been close here.
well, in fact, I've known that family since he was knee-high to a duck. I was listening to him talk, and I thought about his father.
Talk to your mic.
Talk back.
Oh, Mike, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was so mesmerized by Judge, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
I was so mesmerized by the fact that you were standing there. And I thought, reflecting on the years that I've known you and your brother and your father and your family. And it's been a great pleasure, even though I don't live anymore, to follow your career and to see the contributions that you and your brothers and your family has made to this city and to this region. And I hope that Mr. Clayton will take a note from some of that, since he is an assistant district attorney, that he might aspire to higher office. And thank you so very much.
You like some money, brother?
Hey, Judge, I don't know if I can pass it back on.
Thank you, Judge Stewart. Now we move to public comments. Are there any?
Above and beyond the ward.
Above and beyond. You added it.
Thank you, Madam Chair. 4.A, we now going to receive the above and beyond awards.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to give a much deserving award. We do this at each of our monthly meetings, and it's usually a recommendation from some of their either superiors, administrators, or whomever is deserving of it. So this month, it goes to a person from Shreveport, Southside, and Dr. Melville Williams said, take your time, don't rush it, because you don't come to Shreveport but once a year, and we want to make this a great event. So I'll ask Dr. Ellis, if you will, please introduce the Above and Beyond Award for today.
Well, thank you for giving us this opportunity to adjust the agenda to accommodate this presentation. I'd like Professor Jocelyn Pickens to join me at the stage. She will introduce and describe someone this month's recipient who really exemplifies and embodies the vision and the characteristics that we want to portray here at Susman. And somebody who is probably still young in age, but definitely as far as maturity, someone who is extremely mature for her age. And so I'll let Professor Jocelyn Pickens introduce this month's award winner.
Thank you. The gift of a child is like no other. You love, nurture, and teach them, hoping that one day the care and guidance will produce an individual that exhibits the characteristics that you have instilled in them. 15 years ago, I entered the Southern University family as an instructor with my 18-month-old daughter in tow, on my hip, actually. Southern University not only became my workplace, but it became hers as well. As a single working parent, there was no other choice. During many late-night QEP meetings, she played on the floor while we met at the conference table. She sat at the desk with a crayon in hand, pretending to grade papers while I was hard at work many nights. She also graded papers. She randomly chose my speech presentations for me before she could even read in speech class. And during the summers, as she got older, she spent summers making copies, cleaning my boards in the administration building, and I often called her my intern. Many others took notice in the humanities division and called upon her to do work for them as well. My colleagues like Professor Hester, Wilson, Collins, Phillips, and Dr. Waller all became well acquainted with my daughter Jalen's presence and assistance for more than a decade. It was clear that over the years, her relationship with the Sussler family had grown and deepened. I can honestly say that Jalen Pickens was raised in the hallways of Southern University of Shreveport. Unexpectedly, this long-standing relationship between Jalen and Southern University, built with my love for historically black colleges and universities, instilled within her a deep affinity. Currently, she is a scholar as an 11th grader attending one of the highest ranking high schools in Louisiana and a dual enrollment student with plans to attend Southern University. Jalen also has over a decade of experience as a trained dancer with expertise in ballet, jazz, tap, liturgical, and hip hop, and an extensive modeling career as an internationally published model. With all of these activities as a teenager, people may think that she will become distracted from the goodwill of her fellow man. However, instead of a Sweet 16 birthday party this year, Jalen wanted to give back to her community in a major way. After she met a classmate that was experiencing homelessness, she was compelled to do something to affect not only that student, but so many teens that suffer in silence. Even as a child raised in a single-parent home, sometimes experiencing her own struggles, she sought to help those that even had less than she. Jalen found that jeans were the perfect item to donate, as they could be worn multiple times between washes and provide a sense of normalcy. Soon enough, her initiative, Jalen's Jeans for Teens, created a much-needed awareness about the issue of homelessness and sparked partnerships with Caddo Parish Schools and Southern University at Shreveport. Through her research, Jalen decided that she would enlist the help of one of the most influential groups in her life at Sussex. Since I am her mother, I felt that she should approach the university with her vision without me, so they would know it was all her and not me. And when she did, she received support from the entire university, and Sussex became the largest donor, collecting over 400 pair of jeans. As her vision became larger, Jalen reached out to counselors from all Caddo Parish high schools for support and had 11 high schools to participate. She then received media attention, and other organizations like Lowe's took notice and came to her support. It wasn't long before Northwest Louisiana community was inspired to give and become aware of the need of those aged 16 through 24 in the Shreveport area. Jalen was able to donate over 1,000 pair of new and gently used jeans to the McKinney-Vito Homeless Education Program in Caddo Parish Schools. These efforts were recognized by the city of Shreveport with a proclamation, and also Cooper USA with an award. Jalen felt that this was a good start, but she knew that more could be done to help those experiencing homelessness and the hardships associated with it. Many supporters have asked when was their next opportunity to give. So this summer, she worked diligently to partner her newly trademarked Jalen's Locker with the Sussex family as a hub for students in need. It was during this time that we became more aware of our own students with the same misfortunes and in need. Sussex partnership with Jalen's Locker enables a comprehensive approach that addresses homelessness among youth. Recognizing the need to continue to inspire our community and contribute and maintain focus on the initiative, Professor Sonia Hester wrote a song, organized a choir, and recorded an original piece for the sole purpose of raising funds to make Jalen's vision a reality. This song, entitled Invisible, is available now on iTunes, shameless plug. And it epitomizes the struggles of these young people and recognizes the compassion and dedication of those like Jalen who stand up and reach out to solve the unfortunate plights of our fellow man. As her mother, I am deeply inspired. Jalen has become the person that I always hoped that she would. From an early age, I knew that she had a heart that would affect the generation. Isaiah 11:6 says, "And a little child shall lead them." Even though she hates the spotlight, she would much rather show up and do the work and improve the quality of life for our students to hopefully recruit and retain those that are experiencing hardships. I felt that it was befitting to honor her humanitarian efforts and her unique partnership here at Southern University. Because of that, Chancellor Ellis, faculty, and staff have all embraced her, recognizing not only her recent contributions to the community, but her long-standing commitment to Southern University. As such, not only I, as her mother, but the entire Sussex family recognizes that she has gone above and beyond to contribute to the matriculating experience and success for all of our students. It is with this recognition that I nominated my daughter, Jalen Marday Pickens, for the Southern University System's Above and Beyond Award.
I am the same little girl that played in my mother's office as a child, but today I stand here as a champion for the voiceless and a person that wants Southern University students to receive the missing pieces that nurture their that homeless college students devote as much time to the classroom as studying as the college students who are not homeless. However, they also work more, they commute more, spend more time taking care of other people, and they sleep less. In 2017, there were over 2,000 homeless youth reported in Caddo Parish. I think that they are all potential students at Southern. They need to know what I know and love, and that is the truth about the HBCU experience. Partnerships like this fulfill the university mission and build the economy. This is why I know that the tireless hours of creating this partnership are not in vain. This is not my award alone, so I accept the honor on behalf of Jalen's Locker organization that I founded and those instrumental in creating a true partnership with the little girl that grew up in the halls of Susla. I must acknowledge everyone that believed in this initiative and seeing the benefits of our students. Chancellor Ellis for your support, Dr. Melba Williams for making the initial connection and seeing this through, Professor Sonia Hester for the beautiful original song of the movement, Commissioner Stephen Jackson for the work and support, and Preacher Walker of Caddo Parish Schools Homeless Education Program. Thank you, Southern University Board of Supervisors Chair Lady Ann Smith and System President Dr. Belton. Mommy, can you come stand with me?
We're gonna ask you to come up here this time.
I cannot accept this award without my mother, Dr. Jocelyn Marday Pickens. I am only receiving this award because you did not see me hanging around your office as a burden, but you put me to work. It was your influence and your teaching allowed me to dream big. I appreciate you for relentlessly supporting me. Thank you.
We might have to reverse and go back to this, and it's too dark.
Turn the lights on.
Turn the lights on. On behalf of Southern University Board of Supervisors and President Belton, we would just like to say to you, thanks for going the extra mile of the way, and especially at such tender young age. Again, congratulations to you. Mother, will you come and have a picture with us?
I would also like to express on behalf of the entire Southern University system our congratulations. The old adage, apple doesn't fall forth on the tree, is certainly relative in this case because your mother is a tremendous asset to Southern University at that Shreveport. I suspect in a few years, all of the campuses within the Southern University system is going to be competing for you to enroll in their institution. But do accept this small gesture of my appreciation in light of your acknowledgement as above and before the system. Again, we would like to continue with the Academic Affairs Committee agenda. Now we're ready for public comments. Are there any public
will entertain a motion and a second to adopt items 6A through D in global.
So moved.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, vote by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is approved. We are now at item 7. Dr. Paul and Dr. Dalton, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. As desired, the system has prepared 3 presentations that provide updates of our efforts to enhance our good enrollment efforts. And so those presentations will take place in the order of Southern University, New Orleans, Shreveport, and Baton Rouge in that order. So if I will, I would direct your attention to Dr. Jefferson, who will offer that presentation.
Good morning. At this time, Dr. David Adebori, Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, will present on behalf of Southern University at New Orleans.
Morning.
Good morning.
I'm David Adebori, the Vice Chancellor for Academic and Affairs. I'm also the accreditation liaison for the institution. I'm pleased that we are paying attention to dual enrollment, not only from the standpoint of increasing our enrollment, but this is one admission policy that SACS is extremely interested in now, to the extent that they have developed a policy to manage it. As we are preparing for our reaffirmation, it is very important for institutions to pay attention to what SACS wants us to do. I'm going to advance the first few slides. We do handle this work at the retreat. The dual enrollment is defined by the enrollment of a high school student in a college course for which dual credit, both college and high school credit, is attempted and recorded on both the student's secondary and post-secondary academic record. There are 2 policies that are applicable. As we are preparing for our reaffirmations, we need to pay attention to these 2 policies. One is Board of Regents Academic Affairs Policy 2.22. And the main purpose of this policy is to better prepare high school kids for college and potentially to increase or to decrease their total time to graduation. The students that participate are very smart, very highly intelligent high school kids. Some of them at grade level 10 or 11 have already achieved ACT scores that make them qualify for direct admission. They are just waiting to pick up their high school credentials. And SACS was alerted that some schools were not paying attention to the quality of teachings that go on with the dual enrollment, and they came up with a very tight dual enrollment policy. And they are particularly interested in seeing that institutions pay attention to the mode of delivery and ensuring that the quality of teaching that the students receive match what we teach within our regular classroom exercises.
And SACS will be checking to make sure that institutions present evidence that they are maintaining quality teaching with these dual enrollment classes. The two standards that are particularly important for SACS are standards 14.3 and 10.5. It is important for institutions to pay attention to this. For us at SUNO, the way we implement this is we write letters to institutions that we are interested in, we visit them, we have what we call SUNO days, and explain the policies that govern dual enrollment to high school kids in the presence of their counselors. We organize high school events, and we organize counselor luncheon. When the program first started, the Board of Regents was paying for it, and it was easy to recruit high schools. But as we move on, it was necessary for us to charge fees, and it became more competitive to recruit high school kids. Right now, the way we are operating it is we have developed a memorandum of understanding, which is signed by the principal of the schools or the designate and the chancellor and myself. That's a sample of the memorandum of understanding. And these are some of the documents we'll be using as evidence for SACS. I won't have time to go through the content of the MOU, but what we have done is sat down very carefully, digested the policies for SACS, as well as the Board of Regents 2.22, and highlight about 9 very critical points placed in the MOU. I want to draw attention to number 9 especially. All instructors must meet the SUNO faculty credential requirements. SACS is going to be after us looking for how to make sure that this is done. In 2017, we partnered with 10 schools, 2018, 9. Right now, we've done MOU with 7 schools, and we are still talking with 3. At the end of the registration period, we are sure that we have up to 10 schools working with us. In 2017, we enrolled a total of 203 students in the program. 2018, 190. And thus far, for 2018, we have 84, but this is still going on. This is still ongoing. We are not done yet. As I mentioned, initially it was free, but the regent was paying for it. Then we introduced $100 per participant. Some high schools started to hesitate, but finally they joined. And this year we tried to start with $300 and they almost shut us down completely. We immediately went back to $100 and we are doing very fine now. I will stop here and I'll be waiting for section B when we do our enrollments. Thank you.
Question?
Dr. Goyen, on the sheet before that, on the dual enrollment head count, you said for 2017 the enrollment was 203.
Yes.
That's what you said. But you also said 2018 there were 84. On the sheet, I don't see a year, but I see 190 sitting up here. Is this 190 actual number, or is this a printing number? Exactly what is this?
The 2018, the count you are saying is still pending. In other words, it's not finalized. But as of yesterday, we had 84.
And so, do you have a 190 still pending, or is that 84 part of that?
No,
number 90?
Sorry. Oh, excuse me. The 190 is spring 2018. Spring 2018. And the one that is pending is for 2018.
4th, 20?
For 2018 is pending. The one we have 19 is spring 2018 that is passed.
Thank you.
Is that clear? Thank you.
Thank you. You have a part two?
Question.
Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I know we're in the middle of enrollment, and I'm looking at half as many that are coming in for the fall. Do you anticipate more, or do you feel like we're going to have a decrease, Dr. Devezan?
We anticipate more. All of these schools are not in, nor are all of the students in for the registration counting. We still have approximately 3 to 4 schools out there that we have to get the MOU signed and get those students input as well.
And what is your deadline date?
That's next Wednesday.
Wednesday. Besides, Madam Chair, some of the schools we've already signed MOU with, we are still waiting for the list of students from those schools.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional questions?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You may continue.
You have a question for me?
No, I'm saying that there any question for you, we're taking at this time. None?
So we're going to, Dr. Ellis at this time.
Again, good morning. I'm going to have Dr. Sherry Williams, our Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs, present on our behalf.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak a little bit about dual enrollment at SUSLA. Let me start by introducing our dual enrollment staff. Ms. Sandra Bigham is the Director of Early Start Dual Enrollment at Southern University at Shreveport. And I believe Ms. Monica McEachin might be in here somewhere. She serves as our dual enrollment specialist. They work very hard along with the deans and program directors and department chairs to identify opportunities for high school students to pursue college credits at Southern University at Shreveport. In this brief presentation today, I'm going to give you some highlights of things that have taken place over the last 2 years in dual enrollment at SUSLA. If you go back to the last screen, it was on the bottom left. I've already mentioned the name of the staff members and introduced them, and they certainly will be here to answer any questions you have along with me. Dual enrollment has exceeded our expectations at Southern University Shreveport over the last 2 years by enrolling more than 3,000 students in courses and programs of study. We have expanded our partnerships outside of Caddo Parish into DeSoto Parish by inclusion of the Dream DeSoto initiative. We have updated our dual enrollment materials and have done a customized handbook depending on what the school districts require for their students and based on the new requirements from the Board of Regents as well as SACS. What the approach we have taken is somewhat different. In its inception, at Southern University at Shreveport, we courted individual high schools to do MOUs with them. Last year, when meeting with the staff, we talked about what we could do differently that would expand our reach, but also provide more opportunities to students. So rather than trying to seek individual MOUs, other than with charter schools and or prep schools, we get MOUs with the school districts themselves. And what that does is takes some of the financial burden off of the students and parents and gives it to the district. And that has been successful. So we have agreements now with Caddo Parish Schools and DeSoto Parish Schools, and we're looking at expanding that into other districts in the Ark-La-Tex region. If you notice, we have up here that we started a pilot program last year with Booker T. Washington High School and Woodlawn High School, where early college students come to the campus to take their courses. As of summer 2018, we have many of the students from the pilot program that have gained upwards of 18 college credit hours. So they truly have completed just about enough hours to have done a full freshman year in college. And so we're very excited about that. So this semester, those students who are in cohort 1 will be starting their second year of dual enrollment courses and be completing credits toward either an early childhood certificate or an associate's degree in general studies. So many of them, when they graduate high school, they'll not only get a high school diploma, but they will also have a certification and or an associate's degree when they finish. And so that is our goal for all of our dual enrollment students at SUSLA. Just to give you a quick idea about the numbers and what they look like, if you take a look at the screen, at Southern University at Shreveport in the fall of 2016, we had about 885 dual enrollment students, and that accounted for approximately 38% of SUSLA's enrollment. Spring 2017, 697 dual enrollment students, and that accounted for approximately 33% of SUSLA's enrollment. Fall 2017, 898 dual enrollment students, which accounted for about 29% of our total overall enrollment. And in spring 2018, we had 581 dual enrollment students, which accounted for approximately 26% of the overall campus enrollment. Dual enrollment is structured somewhat simply. The office reports to academic affairs. We have the director and the specialists who work with the department chairs and the deans to identify academic programs that are suitable for dual enrollment students. And we hold sessions with counselors and principals to talk about what would be most appropriate for the students at those schools, and then have courses tailored to meet the needs of those high school students. We do certify high school faculty if they are eligible as adjunct instructors at Southern, so they can help instruct some of the courses in dual enrollment, as well as have our own faculty instruct the courses as well. So that truly is a good partnership. We do the MOUs with the school systems, and we have the director serve as a liaison between the university and all of the participating schools. Our last orientation session was held on the campus August 7th and was very successful. So we are now in the process of receiving all of what we call the master list from all of the high schools, making their requests for courses and enrolling their students for the fall. So we're excited because it looks like our reach is going to continue to expand, and the number of schools that want to participate in dual enrollment initiatives in Caddo Parish is increasing yet again. New horizons for dual enrollment. We believe the numbers will increase due to modifications in the admissions process. We had a process where students had to do the state required application with LASPA, as well as do a SUSLA application, but we figured out how we could get all of the information we need on one application, and then our admission staff is going to work with that information to put in the system what we need. In addition to that, we are doing an agreement with Caddo Parish where we'll be able to download information from their student database into our database to make it easier to streamline the admissions process for dual enrollment students. The number of course offerings this year is increasing, partially because of the orientation that was done this fall and the inclusion of military science. In Caddo Parish, there's a big move for a number of the schools to hold ROTC and junior ROTC, and there was no outlet for a while for the students to receive dual enrollment credit. So we re-implemented the courses necessary for students to receive credit for their military science leadership courses. We also, as probably will be discussed later, have gotten some great news from the State of Louisiana Board of Regents. As of Wednesday's board meeting, SUSLA will now be able to offer approximately 15 additional programs 100% online. So that is going to be a game changer for us in terms of what we can deliver to students who have access in the parish, but also students who are in rural areas that can't go to different locations to take courses face-to-face. So we're very excited about that. And you'll see us rolling out more information in the weeks and months to come about all of the Associate of General Studies programs and their concentrations that are being offered 100% online, the Associate of Applied Science in Criminal Justice Administration, the Computer Networking Technology program, the Associate of Arts Louisiana Transfer, and the Associate of Science Louisiana Transfer programs as well. We now, in addition to face-to-face, can offer all of those things online. So we are grateful to the Board of Regents for their approval, and thank you for your support as a system, and we look forward to continuing to facilitate the success of students who are duly enrolled at Southern University this fall.
Thank you. Other question? Again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dr. Emerson, make the presentation on behalf of SUBR. To our board chair, vice chair, members of the board, Dr. Belton, colleagues, I want to present the information on dual enrollment at Southern University, Baton Rouge. As you have seen from the two previous reports, there was a review of dual enrollment programs across the Southern University system. We conducted that to assess the overall operations and the current impact in the state. We reviewed and analyzed the 2010 to 2016 data that was provided to us by the Louisiana Board of Regents. Internal data assessment was provided by the Institutional Research Office at SUBR, and we had strategic plans prepared by each of the campuses, and data and other information from those plans were just presented. For SUBR, we enrolled students in dual enrollment at the institution. We took a look at data again over the last 3 years, and what we found is that 48% of the students who took dual enrollment courses at SUBR continued their enrollment with the institution as they became full-time college students. For us, it ranked the institution number 4 out of 14 institutions in Louisiana. We were ranked behind ULL, LSU, and McNeese State. We also conducted, again, a strategic planning process. And our goal is to expand our footprint in schools across the state. So as of today, we have increased the number of dual enrolled schools from 8 to 17. So we doubled since last year. We also strengthened our presence in East Baton Rouge schools. The number of MOUs that we have now has increased from 8 to 11. And we plan to offer more courses to improve that pipeline growth.
We have a slide here that shows the partner schools. You go to the next one. Our returning partner schools, again, there are 17 total. You can see our partner schools on the slides: Baker High School, Zachary, Opelousas, East Feliciana, Southern University Lab, Scotlandville Magnet School, Broadmoor, and the Mentorship STEAM Academy are the returning partners. And then we have our new partners on the slide as well. And two of those new partners, St. Helena College and Career Academy and Peabody Magnet, will join us in the spring of 2019. One of the real highlights of our returning partnerships is Southern University Lab. This year, Southern University Lab doubled the number of students at SU Baton Rouge in dual enrollment courses. And if you take a look at our strategies that we have going forward, we have developed these strategies, again, with the goal of increasing enrollment for this academic year. We started with a course facilitator training that was conducted on the campus July 19th and 20th. And we also plan to have parent-student orientation sessions at our partner schools, student recruitment events in partner schools, and information affairs, university partner school collaboration meetings. And our plans are to increase the number of courses for dual enrollment online. And on the next slide, you will see some of the photos from our training during the summer. Again, we had 15 teachers from local school districts. We had a high school counselor, and of course we had SUBR faculty who would serve as adjunct faculty. The content areas that were represented at this facilitator training were English, math, agriculture, science, history, and psychology. We also had training topics, strengthening external partnerships, dual enrollment policy updates, Moodle learning management system, live text, and others. And we think that with all of these efforts, we will be able to continue to increase the number of students enrolled in dual enrollment courses, not only at SUBR, but across the Southern University system. Thank you.
Question? Dr. Tobin?
Dr. Hammond, do you have any projections for this coming fall semester?
Yes, we are projecting in the neighborhood of between 125 and 150 students for this semester. As of today, and enrollment registration has not completed, we have about 80 students who have actually gone through enrollment. Last year, I think we were around 140, 135 students.
Dr. Gaines.
Yes. Okay.
What the numbers you just gave with regard to enrollment are the number of students. I'm interested to know, and I don't know if that answer was, I don't know if the question was the same, but I'm interested to know, Dr. Ammons, the percentage of students who do participate in dual enrollment that actually end up enrolling in the university. What percentage would you say of those students do you get?
48%. The highest among the four-year schools in Louisiana is 65%. And that's ULL. LSU is 63, and B-State is 59, and we're 48. Of course, our goal is to keep all of them. But right now, we're number 4 out of the 14 institutions in the system.
And roughly, you may not be able to tell me every single one, but roughly what series courses are available generally in your dual enrollment program?
English, math, the sciences. We now have agriculture, history, and psychology.
And do you find those disciplines to sort of be repeated among the colleges and universities throughout the state, or some offering more than others?
Well, these are sort of the broad areas of general education, which is where the high school students would start. So, I mean, if we took a look at English, math, social sciences, the sciences, we have courses that are in those categories so that students who complete those courses are making progress toward their degree.
Thank you.
Dr. Davis?
Yes, Dr. Hammonds, what schools are interested or have signed MOUs in agriculture?
Zachary.
Zachary High School?
Yes.
That's the only one?
As of this time, I think so. We're also working to get a school in New Orleans on board. But as of right now, Zachary is the one with agriculture. Is that correct?
I don't know who put this on the agenda.
I did.
I beg your pardon, Tony?
No. Point of order.
I want to correct the record. In addition to Zachary, we also have Friendship Capital, Southern University Lab, Mentorship Academy, and George Washington Carver in New Orleans with agriculture.
Are there any other questions? Dr. Hammonds, is a question who encourage you and others to pay more attention to dual enrollments. You're off to a very good start, but we're not there yet. And we're going to be expecting periodic reports, progress reports, as we go through the school year.
Thank you. We heard you. And we're working.
Thank you very much. Okay. We're now at information item B, campus enrollment management plans and update on retention, recruitment, and communication marketing to build enrollment per campus.
Dr. King, can I ask a question related to a point of order?
Yes.
Did we adopt actually action items?
I'm going to come back to that.
Okay.
We adopt part of it.
Okay.
I mean, we adopt all of it, but we only should adopt request 2, A, and B.
We need to get clarification.
Okay.
And we're going to come back to that one.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Who's doing the campus enrollment after?
We will also ask each campus to make a presentation in the seminar order that we went in for the presentation. I would ask Dr. Deverson and her staff to make that begin us off.
Dr. Boyd.
I don't just advance the slides. I have this Dr. Grant. She is the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs and Enrollment Management. And I have also Gloria Montreal, the Chief Administrative Officer, in charge of leadership, enrollment, foundation, implementations, and marketing, and so on. First of all, we are proud to show this chart and to show exactly what we are doing one of the major areas we are focusing on to boost enrollment is adult learners. We have last year just appointed a director of evening applicant division. That division was shut down after Hurricane Katrina, but now we, effective from spring, we hired someone, and she's working very hard. And you can see that the yellow line up there shows the 25-year plus versus under 25. And you see that Suno is doing very well with this group of applicants. And by the way, the figure will continue to rise. The next slide compares the detention rate for 2016 to for 2017 with for 2017 to for 2018. It was 52.2%. Right now, we are already at 51.5%. But please bear in mind that registration is still continuing. So we are expecting some of the, for 2017 cohort, who have not registered this semester to still register. And that figure might well go up. I want to point out something regarding enrollment as a whole. What we have noticed this year is that we have been able to boost the total applications. However, we are having a lot of difficulty with completing the application process because some kids are very late in bringing their transcripts, and we are working around the clock. We want to make sure that we do not violate any policies. It's extremely important to us. We want to make sure that every application that is processed and admitted is indeed worthy of being admitted under our criteria. So we're working frantically with some high schools who have not released the transcripts of the students. And by the time we come to campus for the retreat, early this coming week, our figures for enrollment will be in a better shape than what we have right now, because it's increasing from moment to moment. At this stage, I'd like to invite Ms. Modu to come in and explain what you've been doing with marketing.
Good morning. Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge the work of Tammy Barney, who's our Public Relations Director, and C. Maxfield Moultrie, who's Director of Recruitment, as it relates to communication and marketing. Back in November of 2017, we did have conversations with one of the local television stations, WWL, CBS affiliate, to work on a year-long campaign for communications and marketing for Southern University at New Orleans. And the plan included 15 and 30-second commercials that would air on that particular station, as well as WUPL television in New Orleans. And the main theme of the advertising focused on all the great things that were happening at Southern University at New Orleans right now. And the footage that was shot was done in the newly redesigned Leonard S. Washington Library, the College of Business and Public Administration, and in the Small Business Incubator. And the tagline for the commercials is, "Let this be your turn, your time to succeed at Southern University at New Orleans." And all of that is part of that. I want to play for you the actual 15-second commercial. Give it some volume, please. And all of that is part of that. I want to play for you the actual 15-second commercial. Give it some volume, please. And all of that is part of that. I want to play for you the actual 15-second commercial. Give it some volume, please. Play the 30 seconds. just the New Orleans areas. Some of those places have included parts of Alabama, Mississippi, and Texas. And the first again, thinking to move forward. To say that we've also done radio ads, and the radio ads have primarily focused on what Dr. Boye mentioned about the return of the evening weekend college. We do have a large population of students who are enrolled in the evening weekend college. In years past, we have had about 40% of the students enrolled were involved in the evening weekend class. And as you can see, enrollment is everybody's business at Southern University at New Orleans. And as the Chancellor likes to say, we are a team, and that's why you see all of us here making these presentations. Dr. Boye.
Good morning. I'm going to talk a little bit about enrollment and our recruitment strategies. As of yesterday, our total enrollment was 2,266. Our projection was 2,500. And as everyone has mentioned, we're still in the process of registering students. Wednesday, August 29th is our final day of registration. So we feel confident that we will reach our projected number of 2,500. Our recruitment efforts, we do the usual. Dr. Adebayo mentioned the counselors luncheon, and we try to think, I say, outside the box, since, as you know, we don't have a lot of funds to spend at SUNO. So we're trying to be a little creative and do a lot of recruiting with less money. So what we formed, what we call the Golden Girls, and what they are, women over 60, and we don't have to pay them anything. They graduated from SUNO, and a few did not, but they go out and they recruit. I got the idea from where the Girl Scouts sit in front of different businesses and stores and recruit, and that's what the Golden Girls do. They have their t-shirts, and they recruit for us and bring an application, and it doesn't cost us any money. We reached out to, more than usual, to alumni in various cities and states, and have been recruiting because we try to go to as many college fairs as we can, but of course that costs money, and we were trying to do as much as we can with, without spending a lot of money. So the alums in different cities and states will attend a college fair, maybe in Detroit or Denver or wherever, and they're already there. We just mail them a box with all of our information, and they can go and recruit for us, and it's not costing us any money except for the price that it costs us to mail the box. So we did that. We also reached out to a lot of businesses in the New Orleans area, and a lot of the staff, we went to like the fire station, the police department, different restaurants and places of business, and left information, put up flyers and posters, and recruited that way. And we can print out that information in-house, and we got a lot of response from that, and that helped us out an awful lot also. We utilized the faculty and staff employees at SUNO. I sent out an old, well, Ms. Barney and Ms. Mochi's office, I asked her to send out an also an email asking everybody employed at SUNO, challenging them to bring in at least one new student for the fall semester. So that didn't cost us anything. So we, like I said, we're trying to do a lot with a little money, but if everybody pitched in, because we say retention, recruitment is everybody's business, so we involve everybody at SUNO. And Dr. Boye.
Just one last comment. We are definitely improving or trying to increase our total online enrollment. Right now, we've been guiding ourselves to be below 25% of total cost offering, but we are ready to start stretching between 25 and 49.99%, which will require notification to SACS. Right now, we are doing good, keeping all our enrollment below 25% of the total cost offering. But there is pressure from all programs to go beyond the 25%, and we are ready to do that. Because from our experience, online classes are then forced to be filled. And more students are demanding it. We've got to dance to the tune of the environment. If you don't do that, we will be left out, and we don't want to be left out. So we are ready to spread to the next cycle. Thank you.
Before you leave, Dr. Charles, there's a question.
Dr. Adeboye,
Yes.
we got a handout from SUNO on dual enrollment. Is there no handout on enrollment?
No, we did not provide the handout. We had a PowerPoint, but we did not provide the handout.
I'm assuming that the reason that you didn't provide is because registration is continuing.
Yes, it's continuing. The data, the handout now is going to be misleading.
Yeah, sure.
So we'd rather wait till the retreat when the data will be closer to what we expect. Yes.
So we expect then by our next board meeting that we will have a handout from your school as all the other schools as relates to enrollment, so we can see this. And we also look at comparative analysis, so we'll see what kind of progress has been made. And this goes for all campuses. There's a huge emphasis in your handouts on inputs, and there's no emphasis on outputs. And I suppose, again, because of the time frame, that would be better attested to in our next board meeting. So I'm assuming that all of our campuses, Mr. President, are going to have some end report next board meeting on this matter. It might clear up the ambiguities I see. And one last comment. Those ads that you were showing might be more effective if we had less noise in the background. That music was a distraction. You could hardly hear what anybody was saying.
That was not a part of the ad.
That's not
Oh, I
the
see.
That's not
ad.
part of the ad.
But I wouldn't know the difference the rest of them looking at it. So double check that next time you see that. Get it out of there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We are planning to do that because before the next board meeting, we will have passed the 14th day of class, and the enrollment will have been stabilized and finalized. We will do that.
I want to thank all of the presenters. Before, no, I got one item more. Item 7C, Southern University System online programs for an update.
If you want to wait up there.
You want to do it with campus?
Yeah.
Yes, we have reports from the other campuses, Shreveport, the Law Center, and SUBR. And so we would ask Shreveport to offer their presentation briefly.
Thank you.
Could we just deal with the data? I think y'all versed us on the strategies and all the effort. Can we just focus on the data, please? Because I think that's where we are. We've been at this a while. We can focus on the data and see where we are. And I know it's preliminary and still going on, but can we just focus on the data? Thank you.
I'll have Dr. Melvin Williams and Ms. Dennis Rogers present on behalf of Sussex, and as indicated, we are in the process of registering, so we will try to be brief.
Over to the right, Mr. Jenkins. Yeah, there you go. Good morning, Madam Chair, Mr. President, Mr. Chancellor, honorable members of the board. Pleased to give you an update on a way we grow at Southern University Shreveport. We are doing our best to increase enrollment and to sustain the university through our initiatives. The first thing that we're doing, and as we talk about data, we did a lot of data initiatives and research through our strategic plan, A Way Forward. So at Southern University at Shreveport in enrollment management, what we are doing is focusing on the strategic plan and addressing those initiatives that the entire campus has deemed as important. And so some of those initiatives are expand the market territory, improve communication plan, increase our international student population. We're addressing 1.1.3 of our strategic plan, which is to expand our scholarship offerings, promote online programs, which is in our 1.1.2, and then reduce the time frame from application to enrollment, and of course promote our living and learning experience here at Southern University Shreveport. So we are off and away, and we are trying to expand our market territory. The majority of our students come from the Caddo North region of Louisiana. We have done a pretty decent job of reaching out to our Southern University alumni, and I want to just personally thank Ms. Laquita Thomas and Pamela LeBrain and James Brown for hosting us in Dallas and Houston, and those initiatives were spectacular. So I just want to thank them, and of course we are putting billboards out in our rural communities to really get the word out there about the great things at Southern University Shreveport. We are improving our enrollment communication. We know that that is going to be the key to ensure that we are getting students enrolled. One of the things that we're doing, Tate, if you can click that link, well, you can skip the link. It's just the 5 easy steps to enrollment that we have on our website that can walk students through the process. Working with Chancellor Ellis, he was very adamant about streamlining the process, so we've been able to do that in just 5 steps so the students can get enrolled at Southern Shreveport. We are improving our enrollment communication. The next phase to what we're doing to improve our enrollment is to automate our application receipt and next step letters. So we are doing that, and we're also training our students on our system that they have, which is the banner system. So Tate, if you can hit that link, what we're doing is doing videos to walk students through different processes, and one of this, our financial aid office has done a host of videos to walk students through the process. So take that link, I'll give you a brief clip of that. See what our students are seeing. Just all right, great. Well, we are text messaging students as well. You'll see. But, oh, okay, there he is. And just scroll all the way to the beginning, and then we'll watch about 3 seconds of it so they can get a perspective of and give us a little volume. So this is how to check the status. Sounds like we have 2 videos going at once, but he is walking. Videos have been very helpful to walk students through the process so they can be self-sufficient as they move throughout the process. And of course, text messaging students throughout so that they can understand where they are along the way. And increasing our international student population, we are really focusing on our Hispanic student population. We have a large Saudi Arabian student population and a lot of students from Nigeria. So we plan to increase that enrollment. We have some numbers there. Our fall 17 enrollment was 105 international students. For spring, see, we have about 81, and we're about on target to reach our fall match of the 105. So I think we should be right along there for fall 18. And we are expanding our scholarship offerings. Unfortunately, that is not our band. That is Beyonce's band. But we have started a band, and that is our aspirant band right there. But we have this year started to offer some scholarships in band. And so that alone has attracted additional students to our campus that wouldn't have traditionally chosen Southern University at Shreveport. So we are very pleased with being able to do that and offer those students some funding to participate in those activities. Of course, we have scholarships in the basketball team. That's our new women's team, and that's our men's team. So that also attracts students through athletics. And really excited about the Williams Center for Undergraduate Achievement. Tony and Tina Williams are graduates of the Southern University Baton Rouge campus. Tony is from the Cooper Road area and attended Southern University Shreveport and found it to be not robbery to give back to Southern University at Shreveport through this mail initiative. And so we are spearheading that initiative. They've given us about $50,000, and Ms. Stephanie Rogers has increased that amount to over $100,000 that we have that will help African American males, or minority males, if you will, throughout this region through the Williams Center for Undergraduate Achievement. And you can see some of our enrollment numbers. This is dual enrollment information, which we've talked about, and I will quickly through that. Of course, retention. One interesting thing that to address your question about retention, we have done something pretty unique and provided supplemental instruction that happens in the classroom. So that means we put our tutors inside the classroom at the same time that the class is going on to ensure that instructors have some supplemental instruction through peer-to-peer coaching in the classroom. And of course, living and learning and promoting our Jaguar Courtyard. What is unique to Southern University of Shreveport being a community college, that we are one of the only community colleges, if not the only community college in our region that has on-campus housing. So we capitalize on that, and that has been a huge draw for us. And there, the chancellor is last week shooting pool with, I promise he does a lot of work, but he was out there whooping up on some students in the back shooting pool last week with some of the students. Just as Stephanie comes up, and I think we'll go ahead and load her presentation next, we also, really like to be innovative at Southern University of Shreveport. We had an opportunity to go out to the mall, both malls at the same day, to bring registration to the community. So that was a very successful event. We had folks to come and complete the process at the mall and go all the way through, so we're really pleased with that. And of course, we are mailing out JAG kits to alumni. Just mailed a JAG kit to Jackie Tate and in Bogalusa, Louisiana, and she did a recruitment event for us on last Saturday. So, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the board, I introduce my colleague here, Ms. Stephanie Rogers, to talk to you a little bit about marketing and university relations.
Thank you, and I'll hurry through this because actually what we do in the Office of Marketing and University Relations complements is to help drive enrollment and the message and the image and the brand of Southern University at Shreveport so that we can increase the numbers of students attending Southern University and the number of qualified workers that we're putting into the region and our economy. Toward that effort, we also, I heard a couple of other campuses mentioned this, but we also embarked on an aggressive plan for annual marketing and university relations efforts at SUSLA. And I'd like to introduce Ms. Krista Snell, our Director of Marketing, University Relations, who's back there with Mr. Tay, and she'll be helping me with the campaign to just kind of close out what Dr. Williams shared with you. The marketing efforts behind those were inspired by the research that was done through the Office of Enrollment Management. We sat with her, our marketing office sat with Dr. Williams and her team, and we looked at the numbers of where our students were coming from, where the majority of our students were coming from, what programs they were taking, enrolling, and we let that inspire the marketing campaign that we put together. So we also met with television stations, and we came up with some new strategies for marketing and leveraging our dollars, our advertising and marketing dollars with our partners and generating new partners, both in television, print, and also radio and social media. The billboard campaign. Build that a little bit. Can we increase that a little bit? Well, we came up with a billboard campaign that would, based on the numbers, based on the data that was shared with us through enrollment services, to expand the outer markets and complement what we're doing within the city, over a 90 to 100 mile radius in all directions. That increased our digital panels and our static posters to over 37. Now that's in addition to what we were already doing. What you see there are examples of some of those static and rural, static and digital boards in the rural areas, promoting some of our popular campaigns, some of our popular programs, and some of the programs that we know address the emerging industries according to the Louisiana Workforce Commission and the high demand industries. Those areas that we concentrated on based on the data, Dr. Tarver, were Acadia, Mansfield, Haynesville, Homer, Plain Dealing, Spring Hill, Vivian, and Minden. And that's what the data told us, that some of our students are, a lot of our students are coming from. But if we concentrate our efforts, visibility, year-round visibility in those areas, we know that we can increase our numbers. And that kind of gives you an aerial map of the areas that we concentrated on that I just shared with you. And the next slide will show you that let's go back. And that's an indication of our digital and social campaign on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, geofencing, pay-per-click, and other integrated marketing strategies that we put in, and of course, print. And the next slide will show us that we wanted to actually give you an indication of, well, radio is always to complement what we're doing, of course, with the live remotes and so forth on campus and in the mall that we talked about. We also did a lot of partners in the mall supported us with giveaways, but we also did on-site qualifications, applications, and on-site stipends and scholarships for those who qualified. And our financial aid department was on hand to help ensure the integrity of that process. And next, to close it out, we'd just like to go ahead and show an indication of the 30-second and 10-second IDs that we played in the marketplace and in some of those surrounding areas that help to increase our reach for this campaign.
In 4 hours, you back to Baton Rouge. What does that mean?
Okay. Well, thank you so much, and we'll entertain any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So we have 2 more presentations. I'm going to ask if the Chancellor and Dr. Scott, if you would be very brief in your presentation. and just focus primarily on the outcomes that we're enjoying right now.
Thank you.
All right, good morning. I'm going to ask Vice Chancellor White to join me to talk somewhat about how we get to what we get. But you have a handout in front of you, and to highlight what we've done, you'll see on the first page of the handout, our application statistics, our numbers are going up. We admitted more students, and we're enrolling more first-year students. The second page will show you that essentially we're back, in the sense that law schools across the country over the last 9 or 10 years have seen a significant enrollment drop. While we suffered some enrollment drops, we're actually back to our 2014 level, which is very, very good, and it portends for greater things going forward. Our attrition rates are very, very low, and most of our attrition occurs in the first year. So those statistics you see are basically first-year attrition rates. After the first year, hardly any attrition as it relates to academic attrition or otherwise. The next thing I wanted you to be aware of course, is while we're having more applicants apply, we also are looking at a situation where we each actually are raising the admission standards. It's still not affecting the number of students that are coming. We have a running 3-year average of information related to applicants who are permitted to the law center. As of this morning, we only had 82 students that haven't paid. We're working on to make sure they get paid, because if they don't pay, that's a problem. And plus, we want to make sure our students get their refund checks on time, and if they don't do the things that they need to do, that's a big problem. On the next page, which talks about the admitted statistics, I want to point to you the number of out-of-state students that are coming down as compared to last year and the year before. So now of the students that are coming in this year, 106 of them are actually coming from outside of the state of Louisiana, and we'll show you why that becomes important. I think a lot of our ability to do what we do in terms of enrollment and admissions is because we use an automated online system called ACES2, which helps us a lot. And I'll let Vice Chancellor White talk about the various recruitment strategies we use and our retention strategies.
Just to make sure that we move quickly through this, Chancellor just asked that I mention these things right quickly, and I heard it. And so briefly what I'll say is that right now we have attached in the program on that handout our strategies that we're currently using. We have the 2017-18 recruitment schools that we went to, and we have the fall intended 2018 schools that we're going to attend. We're focusing on the HBCUs and some other schools. We do have a nationwide strategy. We just hired a new recruiter, and so we'll be in the process of doing that recruitment throughout the fall.
And the last thing, I want to thank Dr. Ammons. I've been using Dr. Ammons' name all summer to recruit me a good crop of students from Florida. And I all told them that if they came, I would make sure that Dr. James Ammons took care of them, and they came.
Thank you, Chancellor. Dr. Scott.
Okay, we have a consolidated presentation. Should take all of 3 minutes. So we're excited because we have a number of students that are still continuing to come through our enrollment process. We're processing on average about 300 students per day, so we hope to be able to give you final numbers as of next week. But as you can see in the enrollment trends, the registration totals as of today are 7,082 students. We had a total of 8,702 applications, but there are a number of students who do not respond. So our true applications, which we work those students from the time they apply through April, and so the folks who materialized in terms of applications is about 5,812. We fully admitted 1,802 students and provisionally admitted, which is the group that we're working now to make sure that they have financial aid. So right now, as of today, we have 1,402 students that are first-year and transfer students who have completed registration and are going through and completing financial aid.
in payment for this semester. We also have 192 Susla Connect working with our Shreveport partners, in addition to 55 Freshman Academy students. And so I think that what's exciting about that is that, you know, we're still busy every night until about 10 p.m. trying to get those students enrolled. They're still coming, and we're still getting phone calls, and you all are still referring them. And we're still trying to make sure that, again, we reach our enrollment target. So on September 10th, when we lock our numbers, we should be able to give you a pretty decent report. What's good about this is that we have opened the application for next year. We are already recruiting students, and it's good to say that we have 337 students that are admitted for fall semester. For the spring semester, we have 106 students that are admitted, and for summer, we're at 29. So we're consistently working the fall semester as well as the next academic year. The average ACT for students coming in this year that are first years, and again, this is preliminary, we'll get better data again from our institutional research office, and that's ACT is about 19.7. The average GPA is about 3.15, and the SAT is about 1037, and that's average. Dr. Penny usually provides a mean, and so you'll see that data look a little bit differently as we move forward. I talk about recruitment. We are already preparing to work with our alumni and other offices. We have receptions planned in Houston, Dallas, Cincinnati with our Procter & Gamble partners, Atlanta, Memphis, Tennessee, Texas, and we've increased our reach in Louisiana as well, in Baker, and Zachary, and Opelousas. If you go to the next slide, I want to thank everyone here who came out and helped with Operation Move In. We moved in 2,267 students, of which 1,278 are first year and transfer students. On to the next slide, please. This is good data for you to know it's still being populated. So when I put this up here, it's why are students choosing Baton Rouge, and you can see 57% of it is because of our academic programs. 56% is about better job training, and I think there's a number around there that talks about alumni involvement. So 18% of the students who came to our campus came because of their alumni engagement. But this is what we need to be focused on when we're trying to really go out and target students to get a sense of what they're interested in, because a lot of our information prior to January was very social, and so we need to highlight the academic prowess of the institution. On to the next slide, please. So we also know that it's trending the same as last year. 93.5% receive financial aid, 27% receive scholarships, and 22.3% receive top scholarships. So we're trying to increase the number of students that get TOPS coming to the institution as well. Next slide, please. This gives you a better sense of our scholarships. To date, we have given out 483 scholarships for this fall semester. The Jesse Stone Award and the Clark Award are 10 and 4 respectively. We have 125 students as compared to 107 last year that are in the Honors College, and we have 153 students that are top JAGs. And so while we're remaining true to our academic mission of going for those students who are very diverse, low income, at risk, we're still admitting those students, but we're targeting those students with 3.0 and above. In particular, we're looking to target those students who have a 28 or above ACT or SAT score as well. I want to move on to the next slide and just let you know that we partner very closely with Dr. Merrick's team and with Jasmine Hunter, and also with Ms. Janine Kate. And so just as everyone else has done, we're not going to play the videos. We have a number of commercials. We are obviously enhancing our collateral materials, and our campaign is We Are Southern, which is resonating very well with our students. Our lookbook and rebook and brochure, social media, paid advertising, and other media all reflects that tagline. Next slide, please. And we have increased our social media presence with the hiring of Janine Tate, and also with the hiring of Ms. Jasmine Hunter. We have 82,000 followers across Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We try to make sure that we can post something every day, and that information comes not only from us as administrators, SGA, Student Affairs, Admission and Enrollment, but we also have orientation leaders who are using GroupMe and other tools to keep students informed and mentored. And if you'll go to the next slide, we're continuing to share personal testimonies. We're not going to play them, but we'll send this to you so you can play them for yourselves. So they're seeing students students who are actually giving their testimonial about their academic and social experience. If you go on to the next slide. That is also, have expanded paid media, so I think if you're driving down the highway in any direction, you'll see that there are billboards that are out there. We also have 30-second PSAs and other things that are playing very well with our students. And I think I have a final slide, and I'll get out of your way. So, earned media, movement day, the Home Depot was a very big success in terms of reach. And then also student internship success and homecoming are things that we're focusing in on. Because again, those are things that resonate with our students and our parents. We also have a very active parent social media web presence. And so, those folks are out recruiting because they all actually put testimonials about their experiences with movement, orientation, and or other areas. I think that is the last slide.
Thank you, Dr. Scott. We have a question. Dr. Davis.
Yes, just quickly. You mentioned top tags and tops. How do they compare the numbers? I think I missed the top number. I got the top tag 150. What's the tops number?
The tops number I did not bring with me, but I do believe that I can send that to you.
Okay, you can send it to me, okay. Then the other question is, do you have any scholarships left? Because I know a gentleman who has 5 students that need scholarships that he claims he can bring.
Well, if you call us, we'll see what we can figure out. Okay?
Thank you.
I will tell you up front that we are working very hard when we go to these recruitment activities this fall. We will be going with scholarships in hand, handing those out. We're also using QR codes so that the students will apply standing right there in front of us. So we're changing our timeline. That application opened on August 1st. It's going to remain continuously open so that we can continue to recruit for all sections and all cycles.
Thank you, Dr. Scott.
Dr. Green, can I ask?
Yes.
Go back to the very first slide, please, sir. Thank you. The fall 2018 7082 number. Explain that number for me, please.
Which one?
The fall 2018 7,082 students.
Yeah, that says currently enrolling, so that is the number as of this morning, 7,882. That's the number of students who actually have 12 or more credit hours. That is also the number of students that we work with to get financial aid, and then we're now working with them to get them paid. We're at about 60% for paid students, and so we have teams of students and or faculty and staff who are actually calling students to help them with the payment process. As you heard with other folks, we require them to accept financial aid, but then we require them to separately accept fees, and so they get confused in all that process, so we're having to do a little handle.
Do you know what the paid number is as of today?
I did not bring that number with me, but I do believe it is, last night it was about 4667.
To complete the process. And I don't understand, what does that mean? Is the final step for them to pay?
Yes.
Okay.
But there's 4,962 that is paid.
That are paid. And what? I got 4667.
Thank you.
And you may have answered this, but you went through the presentation rather quickly. Yes, ma'am, I know they put the pressure on me to move on. But this is important. What percentage of the current enrollment are new students to the university? What percentage of an increase in your freshman class are you? Let me finish the question. What percentage of an increase in this of your freshman class this year are you enjoying versus last year?
1327 last year. We actually had 1249 at the end of the census for last year. This year, the folks that have enrolled, that registered for courses are at 1402. We are 12%.
12% over last year. All right, I think that's it.
Thank you. Can I close this out? You got to come in on this?
Yes.
Okay, yes, Madam Chair.
My comment is, time was well spent on this. and we did not expect the length of time that would go into this. However, thank you for allowing them to do it in that they worked hard to prepare this information for us. And I want to especially thank you, Dr. Scott, because you gave us some very vital information, and several of the board members are asking for a handout of the information that you've given us.
We actually can send it via email.
Okay,
and
thank
send
you.
the actual numbers.
Thank you. By the way, Attorney Clayton, we did not ask for the indebtedness, but in that they gave it to us, we were being polite to do.
I was too big over here, Madam Chair.
I know.
I would call any problem I may have had with longevity.
Good.
The first meeting, to show you how to do the next meeting.
Point about it. Item 7C has been deferred until next month's meeting.
No, I'm fine with, I think I requested that, and if the chairs wish to defer.
I didn't request that.
This is 7C is being deferred. On the information act.
Yes.
I wanted the group to know why we were not going to.
Is there a handout, is there any documentation that they brought today that we should have?
You can ask that question. I felt it.
Yes, a handout.
This is the handout.
What do you want to do, Madam Chair?
He's going to give us just the basic information.
Yeah, I think you have already some handout that I did. Associate Vice President for Online Learning Services for our system, and in the meantime, I'm also serving as director for professional development for the Southern University Bible Council. So I agree for postponing seriously this meeting for the next board meeting. I just want to make sure that this board understand that within the next year to come, this university is going to be totally transformed, because with the way of online learning, we don't have a choice but understanding that the university that we know today is not going to be the same university in 5 years. So inviting me here on a podium and giving me 5 minutes to talk about online learning is going to be extremely difficult. I would like you, during our next meeting that we have, for you to give me at least a minimum of time to be able to point to some issues that we need to resolve as soon as possible. And the opportunities and the niche that we have in there, we do not have enough time in here. So I want just to thank you again for all this. I wanted to make sure that really I acknowledge the faculty from our system for them to understand that we are betting on them to transform this university as soon as possible. We are behind, but we have a lot of chances in here to turn it around, absolutely. So I want just to thank you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. 5 minutes would not cut it for me. Please discuss that and ask me more time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We will accommodate that. Now we'll go back up to number 6, item A and B. Attorney President, are you all right with everything? Any other business? Hearing none? Okay. We have a motion. Second to adjourn.
Thank you.
I might observe, Madam Chair, if I may, I just got this thing and under problems. The first problem is me. So I don't know what that means, but I look forward to the presentation whenever we hear it.
In that case, I move that we hear it because I agree. I move that we hear that presentation because I agree.
No, they're joking. They're just trying to make me feel good today because we're a little lengthy. But now I would like to thank Dr. Gaines for the academic affairs, and now we're moving into the athletic committee with Attorney Clayton. Please call your committee to order.
Gaines said you were joking about it. It wasn't a great problem. No, my mom was
ounce of truth. As much as being called on, Mr. President, roll call, please.
Yes. Attorney Clay. Here. Ms. Mondale. Here. Reverend Henry. Present. Attorney McGee. Here. Attorney Rutledge. Here. Mrs. Small. Mrs. Smith.
Present.
You have a call.
Okay, I entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
So move.
Second. All approved, all say aye. Aye. Any public comments on the agenda? See no one coming, I move to action item 5A. I move to 5A and B.
Make a motion to approve action item 5A.
Properly moved by Mr. Key, second by Mr. Conrad. All in favor?
Aye.
Any other business? Motion to adjourn.
So move.
Approved and second. That's for me.
Thank you, athletic committee. You know what you did? You realize what you did?
Approve the budget. Yeah. That was submitted prior to the meeting. That was,
Thank you.
read before you got it.
You didn't have it? Okay, and at this point, now we're going to move to our facilities and property committee. Reverend Henry, please call your committee to order.
Meeting adjourned. I now call the Facility and Property Committee to order. Roll call, Mr. President.
Yes. Reverend Henry.
Present.
Dr. Whitfield. Mr. Mondale. Here. Dr. Davis.
Here.
Mr. Hilliard.
Here.
Dr. Carr.
Here.
Mrs. Smith.
Present.
You have a call.
Need a motion to adopt the agenda? Motion. Moved by Pat.
Second.
Second by, moved by Fondale. Moved by Fondale. Second by, okay? Paul. All in favor? Comment? And, is Mr. Eli present this morning?
And FEMA's office for review. FEMA normally takes 4 to 6 months in approving it, and right now they're in the process of doing that. In projections, once that's done, we're looking at placing the project to go out for bids in February, opening the bids up with 2019 March, and awarding the